Guys, I'm a serial fire truck builder at this point. The Canter right back here is kind of, let's call it phase 2. Phase 1 was getting the fire truck stuff off and getting everything stripped out. I had to take miles of wire out of this thing. That's one of the deals with fire trucks. They have a bunch of stuff in them. But we just got done showing the vehicle off at 2 different shows, Northwest Overland Rally and Expo P&W. I think I should give you guys a chance to see what is going on with the Canter. So let's do a fairly informal walk around. So this is our model year 2000 Mitsubishi Canter. Last time you saw it, it didn't have a bed on it. It now has this Summit Expedition Trucks tray. Interesting story with this tray. This tray is actually used, as you might be able to tell by some of the scuff there. Then if I come around to this other side, you'll definitely notice some good little road rash there. This tray came off of a truck that was in an accident where it rolled many times. We got to watch it, actually, and it was really scary. But, you know, like a phoenix from the ashes comes anew. This tray is now going to live a new life, being our next expedition build platform. I'll discuss at the end of the video some of the long-term plans and what we're going to see in phase 3 or 4, but for now we have a tray and it's on the Canter. When we did the tray, I'll just start back here since we're already here, we did a new tailpipe. That was because the old fire truck tailpipe was kind of like the wrong shape plus way too long. I did end up cutting the frame back to its stock length. So when they did the fire truck, they added some length to the frame, and I pretty much just brought it back to stock. Along with phase 2 was new leaf springs in the front and in the rear. Those are giving us 2 inches of increased ride height and making it possible to fit the super singles. So the super singles are very intriguing. If you don't know much about super singles, the idea is you take a dual rear wheel axle vehicle, you convert it to a single wheel, and what's cool about pretty much like the norm now with super singles is that the rear wheel and the front wheel are actually exactly the same. They're just turned around. So when you need to rotate your wheels and tires, or if you have to swap on a spare, you have the ability to use the same one wheel or to swap them, rotate front to back. For tires, we had to be careful about the tires that we use because this vehicle is heavier and is going to get heavier over time. Right now it's 7,000 pounds as it sits, and these are the Hankook Dynapro MT2s. They're in a 35, 12, 5, 17. They are still a light truck tire, so they are Q rated for weight, which gives us just over 32 or 3,400 pounds per tire, I believe. So going to be plenty for our build. We're not going to be anywhere near 13 or 14,000 pounds. Spare tire is exactly the same, full-size spare and super single wheel. We left for now this battery box and the hydraulic mount. Inside this battery box, we have 2 brand new Interstate 12-volt batteries that are in series. And when you utilize 12-volt batteries in series, you multiply the voltage and you get 24 volts. And that's because this whole truck is a 24-volt system. That will come into play in a couple of minutes when we discuss other accessories. So let's discuss some of the future plans for the rear here. We definitely need a rear bumper. All we have is frame stubs. I want to make sure that we have a 2-inch tow hitch as well, so that we'll be able to tow a trailer if we want, or carry a bike carrier, anything like that. And then we're going to put 8-foot long custom side boxes from Summit Expedition Trucks. Our friend Ralph at Summit Expedition Trucks is working on those currently. And then up on top here, just like it would sit on a truck bed, we're going to lay a Go Fast camper. So really the whole goal with the Canter was to give ourselves some interior living space. We're pretty done being exclusively in a rooftop tent and being forced to do outside living. We don't mind the idea of having outside living still be a part of our solution moving forward, but if we're in Alaska, say, and it's raining, we want the ability to be inside if we want, and maybe not just sit inside of a rooftop tent. So now that we've got that covered, and along with the camper, we'll do a bunch of battery system and water and all that stuff, but we'll discuss that at a later date when we're working on it. Let's come to the front. You can see my beautiful wife sitting in the drinking a Diet Coke, and Violet's in the back seat. So on the front, we kept it pretty simple. The things that have changed since you last saw are we swapped to these projector headlights. In my opinion, I just think the projector headlights look a whole lot better. They're just aesthetically, and then they also function way better too. They direct light without blinding oncoming traffic. I just noticed when we drove back from P&W the other day that the headlights are really dim. So we're going to need to do a bulb upgrade in there. The other thing that really will jump out to you to help make up for the fact that our headlights kind of suck is when it's night and we're off-road, we have the new bumper with dual Baja Designs LP4 Pros. These are the red backlit, so we have red backlighting, which obviously matches the red truck. And they're super bright. We have a hole in the front here where we will be able to put a winch. We don't have one yet. That's back to the 24 volt thing. Winches for 24 volt applications are, you know, a little less common. There aren't as many 24 volt trucks here in the States, especially if you're watching from Australia or Africa somewhere. 24 volt is very common there. I did wire the LP4 Pros right into the factory fog light switch, so that it is utilizing all factory wires. And the cool part is most of the Baja Designs lights that I've seen are 9 to 36 volt applications, so you can power them with a wide variety of volts. And it seems like they must have some sort of internal metering or something. I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer, especially not an electrical engineer, but their spec sheet says that 24 volts is within the acceptable range. When we install a winch, we're going to have to move these horns, probably just push them back into under the cab a little bit. And we're definitely going to have to do a winch that's somewhere between 16 and 20,000 pounds load rating. Another thing you'll notice is we have this antenna mount that I made up. That is a custom job that I poorly fabricated all on my own, but it got us down the road and it got us connected to our other travelers or people that might need help or whatever. So that is the, oh, I forgot to mention, these shocks. Many things for the Canter are very challenging to find in this country, and shocks are no different. These are placeholder, very low-cost Monroe shocks. I was able to decipher from kind of the Monroe website. They have a chart where you can look for certain bolt size, eyelet size, and then overall length. I added 2 inches since we lifted the truck 2 inches. and call it a day. So those are placeholder shocks for now. We're definitely going to have to upgrade them in the long term, and we will very likely end up doing a custom solution. So other than the boxes and the camper, what's next? Well, what's next is we definitely need a bigger gas tank. Currently, we only have a 12-gallon, yes, you heard me correctly, 12-gallon diesel tank. That's not going to cut it long term for our lifestyle. So we're actually going to end up putting one tank over here and another tank over here. And both of those tanks are going to be about 34 to 36 gallons. We already have the tanks. They just have to be modified slightly, so we might adjust the capacity. This box is either going to get moved rearward and up, and then we'll maybe put the gas tank right in there, or maybe we'll try and sneak the gas tank behind that box. Not 100% sure yet, but we do have the two tanks, and those are coming up. What else do we have cooking? We're gonna do a winch. We're gonna probably relocate the batteries, definitely install a couple of tanks. So if you have any questions about the Canter, where it's at currently, where it's headed, what brands we've worked with to make it happen so far, I want to say a big, huge, giant thank you to JDM Off-Road. Brian and Cody over there have done a bunch to help us already. They helped us get the truck. They helped us remove the fire truck portion. Brian helped with acquiring the custom Alcan leaf spring packs for the lift. He had all the specs already on site. Brian also welded the front bumper together for me. All I did was the monkey work of sanding it down, prepping it, and then applying a bed liner. And that is just a standard, like, Walmart bed liner, nothing fancy. So we need more fuel. We need water, camper, and power. I almost forgot because it's so hidden away. But right back in there, we have two ARB air tanks, and we have a 24-volt ARB dual piston compressor. Let me tell you, having a 24-volt compressor, because it hauls, and then this is our, right here is our air chuck, right in the back bumper, or the back of the tray. Having air tanks, dual air tanks, plus a giant compressor that's 24 volt, this thing rips. It will fill tires so fast. A lot of times if it's a smaller tire, like on a trailer or something, I don't even have to turn on the compressor. Just the capacity of the tanks will do it. So big shout out to ARB as well for donating some parts so that we can have a sweet expedition truck. So if you have any questions on why we picked a Canter, what we plan to do in the future, or where we plan to take this, let us know. I would show you the interior, but we haven't really done anything yet. We installed a DC to DC with no batteries, just so that we have the ability to charge phones and that kind of stuff. But we have full battery build coming soon, so that we're actually going to do an in-cab battery setup and a house battery setup with a bunch of solar and DC to DC charging and all that. And we're going to lean into the fact that we're 24 volt and run a system that is 24 volt, which is optimized for output for 12 volt and also helps us reduce wire size. So appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what questions you have.